Hey guys, Type here bringing you some Master League action today. Playing for today, spawning in the south of USE-M246. Playing as Soviets and is loaded as guard motor coordination, shock rifle frontline, and urban defense. Face off against him in the north is Orangepest. Playing as Aussie and going for defensive. This is the Commander Terminator tournament. This is from the first round of 32. And if you're unfamiliar with the rules, each player is only able to pick a commander in the tournament once. You can't play commander twice throughout the entire tournament, which makes it interesting. You know, a lot of players will maybe want to save their strongest commanders in the early rounds, especially the top seeds. And a lot of people will be pulling the trigger on some of their best commanders just to get through the early rounds. And I suppose in that respect, it kind of does give the top seeds an even bigger edge, because, you know, usually top seed faces against rank 32. So they're going to have most of their commanders sealed away. There's a lot of these mid-rank players who maybe have like a higher chance of going for the upset. They're going to have to spend their top commanders just to get through the early rounds. But anyway, map is Bocage, and we're underway. I always felt USE-M246 was more of a US Forces player. Kind of interesting to see him pick Soviets for this tournament. Okay, Strupin coming around the corner, getting a good position on these conscripts. Badly outnumbered there, needs to get out. Soft retreat from the Pyos against the combat engineers. And there we go, Orangepest making some good progress on this side of the map. But we see a similar move from USE pushing into the cutoff region over here. Cut off the fuel point for Orangepest, so he's going to try hold on to that, bringing the machine gun across, but leaving two Osttroopen on this side. Two conscripts outnumbering the squads, trying to hold on to the cutoff. Looks like they're well, maybe not providing that many pieces of heavy cover for Orangepest. And conscripts trying to outposition the machine gun. And doing a pretty good job of it. They're not getting suppressed. Good reaction times from USE. And here comes the Flamer. Gonna force away this Osttroopen on the far flank. So yeah, interesting. We're seeing a double combat engineer build here from USE-M246, which often means you see like maybe a squad of guards in conjunction with that, or maybe in this case a M42, which are both popular options to help deal with the Aussie light vehicles in the early game. Oh, bit of a flank in the middle. MG42 in jeopardy here. And gets forced away, so bit of a tough time with that MG42 early on for Orangepest, not getting the most out of it. No, well, back the other way, actually USE doing a really good job of, what was that? Of avoiding it, I suppose I should say. And come the P-Greens though, and muscle out the conscripts. And there you go. I'm just pushing back onto his cutoff. Did briefly have this fuel connected, so it's not like he's way behind in fuel, but not the kind of start you want to have with Osttroopen. You want to be bullying your opponent right from the start. And it hasn't really been the case. USE fighting strongly here with his conscripts. Does have a mine over here as well, worth mentioning. And then just one of the benefits of going for double combat engineers. You know, at least you're a little bit more manpower spare around the tech timing. Maybe squeeze in a squad. And you can spam mines. So you have one combat engineer spare for the Flamer, and then later on you can get one with the Sweeper. So a lot of benefits. Going for this kind of build, which we kind of saw Loveness popularize during the World Championships. Up until then it was more like 4 conscript play instead of this style of build. do think 4 conscript builds is still decent if you're going for like a doctrine with PPSH or SVT conscripts though. So don't discount them. Okay, and then a push out from USE. Doing a formation here, you know, keeping the conscripts in tandem with the flamer squad so we can merge into it at all times. Now branching out, sees that there's no resistance on this side. MG42 over here, not quite in range, nothing providing sight for it at the moment. Orangepest not really maxing out his machine gun in the early game, which is an issue for us here. And he's a little bit late getting his tech up here. Usually Ostrupen gives his tech a lot earlier. We saw him push over to this side with his pyres earlier, where maybe he should have been building his tech. So we get our flamer half track a little bit earlier. So as it stands, you know, it still comes in a reasonable timing if you're talking about like against Grenadiers, but against Ostrupen, this is about a minute or maybe even more off the pace. MG42 finally mobilizing, pushing in here and finding the conscripts behind the sandbags. Engineer maybe coming in for a bit of a flank and triggers both mines there. Pegrins pulling back after that. Comes the half track now though. Ostrupen outnumbered on the far flank. And a sweeper pushing forwards for USE, just checking for any early tellers, because he's in a pretty good position, having already got his tier 3 tech down and only 10 fuel away from the T70. It shows how strong his early game has been compared to a lot of players playing against Ostrupen. He's done a really good job so far. Conscripts maybe feigning that they have an AT grenade, but they definitely do not. You do have to be careful taking so much damage on your conscripts against the flame half track, because you only got 3 medics back here. It can kind of cause a traffic jam for healing back at your base if you take too much damage like that. We do have a mine, and he triggers that. Sweeper squad putting down some air mines on the munitions point here, instead of escorting the flamer, especially after he's run over quite a few mines there. Maybe a slight mistake from Orangepest, and that once again is going to slow down the momentum of his flamer half track. He got it late, hits a mine. That's really bad news, and USE getting out his T70 at like a really fast timing, considering this is a tournament match against Ostrupen. Oh man, it's another mine with the Pegrins, very expensive. Has to retreat with them again. Pyro squad getting back for repairs, and Orangepest going for another Pyro squad. Probably wants some more sweepers, yep. Upgrading those. But they're just going to delay his pack a little bit.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Combinations with the sweepers, doing a bit of sweeping here. But he does have the bulletin here, 50% faster pack production, so going to be able to build it quite quickly. But yeah, coming in a little bit late. Though, you know, usually when you're up against Ostrupen, T70 doesn't come in this early, so maybe he wasn't quite expecting it. Telling one down for Orangepest. Decent position, try and stop the T70 from diving after the flame half track perhaps. A little bit risky sending it in like this. No squads nearby for the snare, no pack nearby. But maybe Orangepest feels like he needs to take these kind of risks to try and claw back this strong early start from USE. Still no command sticks from USE either. So he still got his options open. And if you're winning super far ahead, maybe even go for no commander with this format. And just save them all for the later rounds. I was charging against the combat engine. He's going to be close though with the sweepers upgraded. Missing one gun. Usually they'll win, but definitely not going to win. Wow, Pegrins run over another mine. Those guys are mine magnets this game. If they're feel like they've done almost nothing the entire match because they're constantly hitting these mines. USE just spamming out those mines, and it's working out really well for him. Probably one of the reasons why he's doing so well against Orangepest right now. The mine placement. And even Orangepest with the double sweepers having trouble taking care of them all. Clearing out the sandbags in the center. Nice idea from Orangepest. But yeah, I feel like he hasn't got the most out of the MG42 so far this match, which is why USE's doing so well. Combined with the late flamer half-track timing.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Oh boy, oh no. This connects. Slightly late reaction from Orangepest as well. Attack round long range, but T70 finishes the job. Packer's there. Gets one shot on the T70, but unable to do any more. And maybe a little bit of a mistake there from Orangepest, not having any squads with a snare anywhere close to the flamer half track. Easily gets taken down by the T70. But good work there from USE. I mean, he's got his units out at such fast timings. He's got Maxim, a Zis, and a squad of shock troops out like this early on. Usually you're bleeding so much harder than this, but look at this KD at the moment from USE. Just so far ahead. He's in such a good position now. Take a look. Okay, Orangepest has done Battle Phase 2. So about 30 or 20 manpower away from a flak panzer. But he hits 5 command points, and you hear the announcer can get the Strug E now if he really wants. And there's a little bit lower manpower to put down his tech and then go for the flak panzer. Might be a little bit delayed. Oof! Man, that mine does almost no friendly fire damage. It's like a 400 damage mine, and they took not even a quarter of their health from that hit. What's the friendly fire multiplier on those tellers? That must be very, very low. I wonder if they've got a target table against infantry as well. Generally wouldn't matter too much against anything but friendly fire. That was the case. This was like really, really, really high. Incendiary rounds activated. T70 come around the corner here, and a Zis barrage clearing out that machine gun. Does hit V2 with that now though. USE in control of the VPs. Slightly behind at the moment. But not too bad, and he's in a very, very strong position overall. Decent amount of fuel on the bank. He's got a really good composition. He's in a nice spot. And Orangepest may be feeling a little bit desperate, given the game state, going for the Strug E here. Which is okay, but I think given his position, quite close to a flak panzer, might not have been that strong of an option. Maybe he's just feeling the strain that much. He's keeping tabs on the packs, and this allows the T70 to stay aggressive, getting some nice damage on the Ostrupen squad. Tricky forcing back the Maxim on the far side. Conscripts over here now as well. Ostrupen trying to hold the line here, but we've got the Flamer coming in from the side as well, putting pressure on that pack. Oh, good shot from the Strug E through the center. Shock troops a little bit low, and this is there though. Strug E pulling back a bit. And machine gun forced away again, man. Constantly on the retreat with that pack, in some big trouble. But it looks like USE is just going to settle for taking the cutoff once again. Pretty close to the base here, honestly. Conscripts coming forwards. Thought maybe the Zis was pushing up for a AT gun shot in a snare, but it wasn't the case. Now USE capping on the far side, reconnecting his fuel. nice stable position. Looks like Orangepest going for some attack grounds over the building. He's trying to pull back, try and plant some more mines, but not going to be able to do that with the P-Greens right there, are they? Another machine gun coming in for Orangepest, and double machine guns could be pretty hard to outmaneuver on this map. Especially with the wide arcs. Could be quite strong actually. Strong way of just locking down territory. But USE is in a good position where he could get out and attack very quickly from here. Just needs to put down this tech. He's right there for a T-34. But he might even be thinking about going for the IS-2. He's in that comfortable of a position. Orangepest though, about 30 fuel away from a tank. He does have his tech down now. So imagine we're going to see some Panzer IV action from him. He's setting up, maybe having it sight blocked by these shrubs. Just for an attack ground though. Trying to come in from the side, but MG42 locking that down, and here comes his barrage. Pressing back the machine gun again. Struggy wants to go for some shots on the shock troops. Shock troops getting out of there, but they still do take a decent chunk of damage. And that's the Vet 1 on the Stug. Gets access to their target. Oh, heat shell is what it's called now, huh? Be decent if you're desperate. No, USE's not hanging about, not trying to save for the IS-2. Going for the T-34 and going for a mortar. Maybe, has he run into the second machine gun? He hasn't. Well, this is a good position to go for the mortar. The front line's starting to settle in. Hard to stay aggressive, and the mortar very strong against the team weapons. Especially if you're in a position where you can't really afford to go for a Katyusha. It's more a constant attrition can be strong, and the Soviet mortar of course has the flares which can help you with your positioning too. This one I feel back here. It's a small patch. Pack coming through the center. Struggy on the far flank. Setting up and connecting with the T-70. Attack ground. No, it didn't reposition it. A lot of action going on. Here comes the T-34. Struggy on the run. Oh, Struggy, not on the run. Staying still. Pops off the heat shell. That allows the machine gun to retreat safely. Don't have that many things to spend your munitions on in this commander, so might as well use some of those abilities like that. And there we go, Panzer IV in production for Orangepest. But yeah, USE did kind of hit his T-34 timing a little bit slowly. So Orangepest didn't suffer too much at the hands of this T-34. He's got his own Panzer IV, and wow, USE going from a mass support weapon play strategy himself, going for another Maxim. No, cancels that. Interesting. Machine gun. Interesting arc on that, but does suppress the conscripts. Flare up from USE, so that's clearly part of his strategy. Once those flares to help him with his positioning.
We are losing a sector.
Oof, big mortar shell. Oh, attacking the S-mine field, triggering, and the conscripts take some big damage. Before chasing him for the wipe here. Gotta be careful though with all those mines that are around. Decides not to chase him any further. Which is a wise choice, I think. Disconnecting with one shot. And facing up on the T-34 in the center. Shock troops coming in for the capture. Good damage. Oh, and the shock troop grenade enough to seal the fate of those Osttroop. And And I think that's the first wipe of the game, isn't it? Oh no, the flame half-track went down, that's right. But yeah, first infantry wipe, I suppose. Pretty good preservation from these two so far. Classic tournament play, I would say. Okay, here we go.
ML2 is taking losses.
Is this connecting with the Stug E? Stug E does have pretty long range though. I think that's what Orangepest was hoping. He backed away far enough to fire that shot safely, but wasn't quite the case. 50 range on that thing though, so you can, lob shots from reasonably long range, and that does force the Zis to push quite far forwards. Wow, good hit from the T-34. He's thinking about chasing in after seeing that hit. Oh man, another good hit. Gonna get the D-crew here frontally, it looks like. Just manages to pull it back a decent chunk. Panzer IV not quite in position to assist, and T-34 trying to go for the kill, or maybe even the conscripts or the steal. Ostroupen going to try jump onto the gun here. Could potentially lose his Ostroupen squad, and he would if he tried to go for the capture, so he actually stops in his tracks. And he cuts his losses. That goes down. Panzer IV took a couple shots maybe from the Zis through the center, which is why he didn't come across to assist. And there's Zis up to Vet 2 now, vetting up nicely. Panzer IV getting aggressive. Not fully repaired, but putting some pressure on the T-70. Now pulling back. Oh man, those Peregrines. Those poor Peregrines have been having a rough go running into mine after mine. Oh, friendly mine triggering, but second AT gun there for use. And Orangepest loses his Panzer IV. Wasn't fully repaired, right? Oh, now his machine gun as well. No pack to back this up. Use can finish the game here. Orangepest ticked up. Doesn't like this map apparently. Okay, Ben, watch out. You're an Orangepest's naughty list. And now Orangepest in some trouble. Big trouble in fact. Lost his first Panzer IV, his pack, suffering a huge amount of bleed. Look at the KD differential here. No, Orangepest is playing Ostroupen, but still that is an unsustainable KD.
We are losing a sector.
Troops on the flank, MG forced to retreat. Well, maybe not forced, maybe could have repositioned it honestly. Jumping into the building here. It's super low in health, took a couple Stug shots. Maybe worry about it getting naded and dying. But yeah, the center of the map does seem quite open. It's very good for the flares, for the double AT guns. Seems like this is the kind of map you would want rocket artillery on, even in a 1v1 scenario. At the moment, Orangepest trading out quickly, triple cap. He's still slightly ahead on the VP score. It's probably going to reverse quite quickly and use saving up for the IS-2. Just can squeeze it into his army. And here comes the big boy. I'll be able to fully reinforce a couple of these units, but not the end of the world. Be doing some decent damage out the back. Chipping away. Now getting bold, pushing through the center. This is a shot though. Meanwhile, conscripts capping up big time on the flank. Before getting a good hit, T-70 coming in as well. Pack on the far side. Needs to be in the center. He's getting forced away. Fresh squad, by the way. Pack connecting with the IS-2, but he's badly outnumbered. 3 tanks versus 1 pack. Bad news for Orangepest, no support. Really, the Struggy can't do much. Or maybe that was a spot for the heat shell. No, he doesn't even have the munitions for it. And the pack gets decrewed again. Orangepest in big trouble here. T-34 chasing him for the kill. Trying to build a pack 43 here, panicking. But he's got the bulletin which actually builds the pack 43 more quickly as well. Connects with the T-34. T-34 trying to clear the arc. But the pack 43 finishes the job. So interesting play there. Last second pack 43 and he gets some payback from it. A little bit, maybe a little bit further back than he was hoping to build it, but in a defensible position, I suppose. Orangepest also pulled the trigger on the Shreks, that's why he was so low on munitions. This Pegan is just as an extra form of anti-tank, and he would maybe be in a decent position if he hadn't lost that pack as well, but at the moment the map is just too wide for him to cover with 1 pack 43 and 1 Shrek squad. Put the IS-2 on one side, T-70 on the other. And that's going to be bad news for the map control for Orangepest. But yeah, nice to see pack 43.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Very rare to see. But yeah, with the build time bulletin, that actually worked out pretty well for him. Troops throughout the smoke, but it wears off. And able to complete the capture over here. Incendiary artillery dropped on the pack 43 mortar, starting to barrage it as well. So the incendiary artillery is going to get the decrew. IS-2 doing some attack rounds. Oh, and the flames finish off the Pio. Retreating. And now the AAT guns blasting away. Pack 43 going to go down here. And I didn't see Orangepest throws in the tower. I didn't see if USE popped off the flare to target the incendiary artillery, but yeah, very competent use of the Soviet mortar. You can see, you know, it doesn't get used too often, but can be a real asset, especially on a map like this. But anyway, GG, USE-M246 up 1-0. So here we are for game 2. Orangepest playing as the Brits now. Locking into commandos. I don't think I've seen too much from his Brits, but this seems like a pretty strong map for the Brits. A lot of like seemingly long range engagements possible, and seems like a very strong map for the universal carrier especially. And oh boy, look at this build from USE. No machine gun, straight into the sniper. Well, that is a spicy build. And, you know, sniper tends to be the counter to Brits. You know, the infantry section is so strong. You need a sniper to counter them. Of course, Brits can get their own sniper, but not until a little bit later on. We'll have to see what Orangepest goes for. Standard build has been, you know, you get to your 3 sections, then you tech up. And then go for universal carrier with the Vickers. Because you have to tech to platoon command before getting access to the Vickers. So a lot of players not bothering going for the universal carrier before they have access to the Vickers. Because, you know, it's, yeah, It's alright. Well, no, Orangepest actually going for another infantry section, so he's kind of playing into the hands of USE here. An early universal carrier can put some really strong pressure onto the sniper. But yeah, more infantry sections. I suppose, you know, you do have more opportunities to flank and play aggressively, but I don't know, it might not work out that well for Orangepest. And it looks like it's going to come out just before the sniper takes its first shot too. So Orangepest could be in a little bit of trouble here. Maybe going to have to go for his own counter snipe opportunity. There we go, first sniper shot. This does mean that USE is off to a really slow start. You know, see, he's lost control of his fuel, very little territory under his control. Very, very, very slow start for him here. But he's banking on that sniper to make the difference. To bring it to the building. Sniper a little bit slow to react. Doesn't get any damage on. Orangepest jumping out quite quickly. O's jumping onto this cutoff here. Doesn't look like it's cutting anything off at the moment though. Yeah, it's still connected to that fuel. Double fuel income for Orangepest. He's going to have a huge surplus. He's gone for 3 greens to back up the sniper. And the sniper across to the other side of the map. Orangepest has completed his tech. Created one of his sections with the healing upgrade, and in fact the other one now as well. Sniper coming in, but Orangepest pulling back in anticipation of the sniper rotation perhaps. He's pulling back his sniper at exactly the wrong time. Bring it back in. So Orangepest doing a pretty good job of nullifying the impact of the sniper early on in spite of going for the 4 infantry sections. But yeah, I do feel like this is a really good map for the universal carrier. I'm a bit surprised you didn't get it. Sniper only 2 kills so far. There are a lot of like hedgerows I suppose on this map to hide from the sniper. As long as you're, you know, not directly like in the center of the map. So Orangepest working those quite well and avoiding very much bleed from the sniper. I mean, very easily could have had like 5 kills on this by now. Otherwise, looks like Orangepest tries to save up manpower for his own sniper, so it's going to be a sniper situation. Not AEC, wow. Just going straight for the AEC. You've actually gone for a 4th Grenadier. So that means his tech super slow. He's going to have no answer to the AEC. AEC not really like a lethal weapon against infantry, but constant nuisance I suppose. Tally down by USE however.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
USE's fuel control has been very poor so far, but a very slow start to this match. Didn't really talk about our USE commanders today. Mechanized assault, defensive, and German infantry. Haven't seen anything from him in the early game, so I imagine it's going to be German infantry though. Mechanized assault, you know, light artillery barrage and the Tigers also a decent option. But yeah, 4 Grenadiers probably going to be German infantry. The veteran squad lead upgrade.
Are securing our territory.
There we go, sniper getting its 4th kill there. Now you see on the battlefield. Seeing a few retreats. Another snipe model there.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Wow, USE putting down his mid bunker. So do I have the wrong read on going for the 5-man Grents?
Attempting to steal
So a lot of players, you know, will go for that 5-man green upgrade instead, since the med kits everyone are free with it. You can tick the mid bunker much later on in the game, and they don't want to have to micro those med kits all the time. So far the AEC not doing too much. Kind of does rely on its machine gun to do damage. Main gun unlikely to land those hits. They can do if they're bunched up on the wrong side of cover, especially. Rifle nade in. Ooh. Took full damage from that there. It looked like he was in heavy cover. Can't stick around and chase for the wipe though. AEC putting on too much pressure. Tier 2 going down now for USE. And going for the pack. Expected, and he does not go for the pack build time bulletin. In fact, he doesn't even have the Green Deer accuracy bulletin, which is generally thought of to be the best one. Well, I suppose the Faust range is actually probably the best one. Green Deer accuracy second. And wow, smoke ray coming down. And Orangepest charging after the sniper. So maybe this is his counter to the sniper play. Smoke ray. Interesting idea. Just have the 5-man upgrade as well. And the grenades. Ooh, close call there for USE. But yeah, by not going for any 5-man upgrades, he's going to struggle against these 5-man infantry sections without the support of the sniper.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Oh boy, this could even be a wipe. Make retreat. Oh, maybe the smoke will actually end up covering their retreat too. Grenade into the retreat path. A little bit of body blocking there from Orangepest, but Green Deer was pretty well spread out, so it doesn't really work. And USE going for a 2-2-2? This late on, I do not think that's a good idea.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
It's just a sitting duck for the AEC. Not sure what he's trying for here. So late. So late to get out of 2-2-2. This is insane. He'd be trying to scrape together all the fuel he can to try and get out his medium tanks as quickly as possible, but he's in big trouble here. Orangepest just coming in from every angle at the moment. He's had very, very, very bad fuel control. Orangepest has spent a lot of resources on infantry upgrades though. So still a long way from a medium tank himself. And the 2-2-2 does force a couple of retreats on this side. Orangepest not trying to stall out and allow the AC to rotate. Here it comes. Misses its first shot. Have to make sure the pack is escorting the 2-2-2 at all times, otherwise you get yourself in a sticky situation. And yeah, you can see the AEC here just hasn't been super relevant. You know, kind of can come in and assist. But not really going to get too many kills with it. But oh, finds 2-2-2, gets a shot on. Pack coming through. Sets up. Oh, and connects. Maybe had sight thanks to those pioneers there. USE has played very conservatively with the sniper. Only 8 kills on it so far. Generally you want to see like about a kill per minute. Or maybe even more than that considering how early on he got it. And he is currently quite far off that pace.
Enemy forces are securing our
And
territory.
now USE going for the machine gun. Interesting. Interesting build. Is a very, very heavy infantry build from him.
MG42 team is
But this has been quite a slow-paced match, honestly, so both players have a lot of manpower to enable these kind of builds. Haven't been too many losses on either side. Just blobbing up here. Gone for a 5th
enemy is taking our
infantry
territory.
section, by the way. And that's going to be his answer to the sniper. Just move around in a blob the whole time. So he's got enough units in a cluster that he can just charge forwards at it and still overwhelm the grenadiers that might be defending it. Interesting option.
We are losing a sector.
Doesn't go for the counter snipe though. I feel like Brits. Oh, there's a flank on the machine gun there. Give a slight edge in the counter snipe wars these days with the access to the recon plane on the assault officer.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Okay, Orangepest getting aggressive here, charging in. Back setting up, but Ace is still quite far away.
Our lines of supply are
The
disrupted.
sniper not getting a couple shots in, but around the corner at the moment. Orangepest retreating. Doesn't suffer too much bleed. A lot of like low health squads, but didn't drop too many models. Take a look at the KD again. Slightly behind, but as you would expect, facing against a sniper, but
Are seizing a sector.
not horrible, and he's had such good fuel control. Does have his tick up now and about 40 fuel away from a medium tank. But he's sitting pretty. He doesn't need to push out a medium tank super quickly. Use still about 100 fuel away from his tank. And yeah, he's really struggling for territory control. He's gone for a second machine gun now. Once again, that's enabled because this has been such a low kill game.
Germany now holds the victory point.
Pretty close on the VPs. Orangepest with a 50-point lead. And not too devastating either way.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Sniper's still only on 9 kills though. 14 minutes into the game. Okay, here we go. Infantry section blob putting pressure on the machine gun, just charging forwards here. LMG Grenadiers
A sector.
struggling to make a dent in the Tommy blob. And the 222 firing at the squad behind heavy cover instead of the infantry blob. Maybe a slight mistake there. The sniper rotates, but once again it's too late. Did get a kill. Only up to 10 now though. So still off that kill per minute count. And it's not even like his sniper's been forced to retreat a whole bunch of times as well, slowing down the kill count. Just constantly being on the wrong side of the map or out of position. Grenade on, Grenadiers retreat right into it. But they don't quite go down to it. And now popping assault. Just blobbing up and going hard. Packed quite far forwards here, could be in jeopardy, and that's what Orangepest is going to be targeting. Oh, but the MG42 getting the suppression on, the 222 chasing the whole blob away. AC coming in from the side, Pack is there, but needs to clear the shrubs. AC sticking around, attack round, and it connects, popping the smoke. Pack connecting. Didn't get snared though, so AC does get out of there safely. And once again used with very little territory through his name after that push from Orangepest. And as Orangepest try and tick up to
Our assault grenadiers await your order to deploy, Commander. We will now call in Model E assault guns, Commander.
here's the
The
Cromwell.
mechanized assault group awaits your order to deploy, Commander.
So we might be taking a hammer or anvil at this stage. Okay, second pack now for use in response to the Cromwell. Ooh, machine gun goes down. Last shot from the Cromwell. You could see Orangepest was going to pull back with that, but after getting the decrew, he's going to try to go for the kill on the decrew weapon. Grenadiers nearby could go for the steal, but he's hesitant.
Enemy is attempting
And
to
Pack
steal our
rotating across
sector.
there now. By the time it gets there, it's going to be too late. He's just going to go for the steal. Looks like the Cromwell has missed a couple shots. And continuing to miss. So it looks like he's going to be able to get away with the machine gun. Pretty clumped up though. Oof.
Our opponents are
Pretty
seizing
good
the
bleed.
sector.
Good start for the Cromwell. 6 kills already. More than the AEC's got after being on the map for over 10 minutes. That's often what I talk about, you know. It's not that impactful, the AEC in terms of infantry kills. Okay, another assault.
Our territory.
Going for the decrew on the pack here. MG Grenadiers coming around the corner. And there we go, one of the packs decrewed. Cromwell there, second pack in jeopardy. Infantry sections firing at him. USE just falling apart here, being completely overwhelmed by the assault buff infantry sections. Loses both of his packs. Cromwell going to go for the kill on this one, AEC for the kill on the other, and that looks like GG. He's too far behind here. Gets the recrew on this one. Or it gets decrewed, but it looks like it's going to get decrewed again by the infantry sections. Do get suppressed just in the nick of time. Cromwell coming in on the red. Doesn't even need the Cromwell damage. AC clears it off, and both of the AT guns down for USE. I think that's pretty much GG. Can't really come back from that. There's 2 packs for free. I suppose he did suffer a bit of bleed, but didn't lose any squads or tanks in the process. So yeah. Excuse me, bad news for USE. And it really ultimately comes down, you know, he went for the super early sniper, but still only 12 kills on that. Not what you want to see, having built a sniper that early on. I was expecting much bigger things from USE, but it does not go too well for him. And it seems like Orangepest has done a good job of switching from side to side, keeping the sniper out of position, keeping the packs out of position, and making life hard for him. He's charged forwards for the snare. Slowed down the Cromwell a little bit here. Which he needs to do, considering he doesn't have an anti-tank gun at the moment. So I think that was worthwhile spending his last bit of munitions on it. And we're pulling back now. But yeah, USE has really struggled for fuel control. And now struggling for manpower, having lost both of his packs and having to rebuild.
New anti-tank gun has arrived. We have 200 points remaining.
Now triple cap running against USE. He's draining out very, very quickly, making a break for the VPs. Trying to relieve that pressure. Another activation of assault. We just need to get out of there. And yeah, I'm a little bit surprised to see him lock into mechanized assault. Didn't make any use of this commander at all. Where's it? Oh, it's that the only teller planted, and the pack is somewhat nearby. Might not be able to get the kill here. 5-man infantry sections. The grenades doing some big work, and here we go. Sniper finally in position to assist this time. Couple kills, up to 13 now. AC coming forwards, pack there, could go for the attack rounds, does but misses. Cromwell, or second Cromwell in fact. Takes a pack shot. Grenadiers charging forwards, but infantry sections behind heavy cover, they're not going to have much success. And yeah, I do think the 5-man greens would have been the better option than the LMG greens, given how Orangepest has been playing with the assault, the high mobility. He played very cautiously there, retreating with the sniper because he didn't have any snares. Once again, Orangepest with the triple cap running. USE draining out very quickly, but he doesn't want to give up. You know, this is a tournament match after all. He's got a chance of winning. He's going to try and play for it, but Orangepest is going for the triple Cromwell. Going to try overwhelm USE here. Oh, and there we go. 222 goes down.
The enemy has dealt us a blow.
Haven't seen too much action in these buildings so far this game. Could be an interesting idea for Brits, especially if you're not against a sniper. Maybe use some destroy cover. Open up these buildings. Could be interesting. Especially once this map maybe makes into auto match. One shot off on the Cromwell, but as the third Cromwell arrives, one pack's not going to be enough to hold the line here. So far doing a pretty good job with it. Sniper also getting some hits in. Softening up this machine gun, another activation of Assault, assisting his blob at charging out from the base, assisting with overwhelming these grenadiers through the center. He's really struggling for territory. It's really been the story of this match. Not enough fuel. He lost those packs at a critical timing, which has meant that he's got completely overwhelmed here. And speaking of, another pack getting overwhelmed, triple Cromwells, and the AEC goes down extremely quickly. Orangepest going for the full disrespect into the base. Going for the kill. Finishing the job. Knows that New stands no chance. Sees in the base there's no tier 3, so he doesn't have to worry about a tank arriving to turn things around. He's even destroying tech structures here, blocking out the possibility of going for another pack, and Hughes finally throws in the towel a little bit late. Well, GG from Orangepest. You know, I thought he was going to be in a bit of trouble against the sniper play, but he played very well evasively, didn't take almost any bleed from it in the early game, and Hughes on the back of that had almost no map control. Kind of strange I felt him going for the 2-2-2 this game. I don't really understand that pick. It was so late, 9 minutes. It didn't really make sense to me. And yeah, his positioning, or at least Orangepest maybe out-positioning him, maybe thanks to the assault, does have those recon planes. He's constantly getting caught short and losing those 2 packs. That was the death blow. Also surprised not to see the 5-man Grenadiers from Hughes, given his, you know, he had 4 Grenadiers as well. Can do quite well against assault activated Grenadiers. I mean, assault activated Tommies who are kind of charging forwards, can play with a bit more mobility. But the Grenadiers were decent, I suppose. So, you know, can not do quite so well in close quarters. Anyway, GG, and we'll go on to game 3, the deciding match. Who's going to advance? Orangepest or Hughes? Here we are for the deciding match. We are on Crossroads. USE-M246 playing as US forces this time. This is what I was expecting from him originally, but you know, he did get the job done with Soviets and Bocage. And his rifle company. Mechanized.
Got a rifle squad waiting for orders.
And airborne. Orangepest playing as OKW and locking into Firestorm. Very unusual commander to see. Going for a Kuhwagen as well. And it looks like Hughes is pulling out all the stops. He's going for mechanized. Probably going to see the OC-51. Interesting capping order though. Going straight for the munitions, I guess. Wants to get the 50 cal up on that as quickly as possible. I checked the VPs. And I think Orangepest would have had faction selection. He won with 370 and Hughes won with like 280 or something like that. So I'm not sure exactly how the rules are. Maybe he tried to go for like a counter pick, or yeah, I don't know. But either way, this is how things have lined up. And yeah, very, very unusual to see Kuhwagen, especially these days, you know, with the OC-51 being so popular. And you have to expect for a decider like this that you're probably going to be up against the A strategy, which is probably going to be mechanized. And it's all on the line. Charging in, big defense treaties. Early retreat there from Orangepest. But it's understandable. Like, he sees it at least behind light cover. He's got no chance of winning against the rifleman in a scenario like that. That's how strong they are. USE-51 sent out to do some capping. A little bit late. Oh, and he's going to delay the upgrade on that even further by going to do the capture before starting the upgrade. Could hurt him. Not at the moment though. Orangepest has connected the fuel on this side in spite of losing on his side of the map. Coming in for a bit of bleed. Going for a bit of a push. Interesting. This is how he's going to try to beat the rifleman. The riflemen are favoured at this range. This is maybe where not upgrading the USE-51 is going to hurt USE. Could have brought it in to assist in this engagement. Otherwise, as it stands, he's going to lose it because of that decision. 50 cal upgraded now. When did he pop back in to upgrade it? Well, here it comes. And the coup wagon on the run. Big damage, man. That 50 does so much damage. It's really good penetration. I'm chasing for the Kubel, and the Kubel goes down. And that is the power of the WC-51. Quite a bit of small arms damage here. Orangepest's trying to make sure he can force it away here. But it doesn't look like it. Staying in. USE-51 does have a pretty big range advantage. It's 45 range versus 35 on the infantry, so can pick shots from out of range from any return damage, which is why it's so strong.
Krauts are taking one of our points.
So early win there for USE in terms of the wipes, but I think Orangepest has a superior fuel control so far. So he's got that in his corner, and he's putting down a mechanized behind this. Interesting question is going to be, will he go for a looks, or is he going to try and go straight for the Puma this game?
The enemy has cut our supply chain.
It's down for USE, and now going for the 50. And in comes the USE-51. Orangepest has sandbags set up here though, so able to hold the line. Trying to contest the cutoff point here, but Lieutenant is on the road, taking quite a lot of damage actually. Orangepest leaving the squad here, so able to complete the capture, while the higher health one able to chase in with the capture. Double rifles forcing away the squad from the fuel. The fuel was connected, so Orangepest to get a decent chunk of fuel in, and I imagine he's gone for this commander because he wants to get the Opal Blitz for healing later on, along with the mechanized build, so he doesn't have to build a battle group. Oof, good damage from the USE-51 there. Orangepest building the sandbags can help him hold the line against USE-51, and wow, popping 2 squads in fact. With the MP40s, interesting. Is a little bit cheaper of an upgrade than the STGs, which is somewhat appealing. At the moment, doesn't have enough munitions for any healing, which is really hurting him. Maybe should have only gone for one of those upgrades. But the MP40s, if they get really up close to the WC-51, can do a bucket load of damage to it. So maybe that's part of his strategy. They do win against riflemen in close range. Orangepest should retreat here. A little bit late. Maybe he wants to retreat a little bit late there because he doesn't have any healing available. Let's drop a couple models so he can heal in that fashion. Wow, going for full MP40s here. Interesting. Also squeezing in a MG34 before going for his light vehicle. And hasn't pulled the trigger on the look, so I'm guessing it's going to be the Puma. Stuart underway for use, so yeah, if he did go for the looks, it might have been a little bit too late to really get too much damage before that Stuart ended up arriving. He was stabilizing quite well after a little bit of a shaky start. Good work here from Orangepest, getting the cutoff on the fuel point, bringing up the machine gun. You saw that coming though. And MG doesn't get a full burst off there, doesn't get the suppression in. And just out of range of this squad behind cover as well, but I think before he's charging in, should be able to win here. Especially as the Fox hit Vet 1, get access to some of their received accuracy bonus. The squad trying to come around on the flank while the MG softens it up. Maybe going to go for the wipe here. These guys do have high explosive grenades. Trying to time the grenade a little bit early. And doesn't get the wipe. Lieutenant on the rear of the machine gun. And Orangepest in some trouble. Really need that wipe there. And now, you know, one squad down. Because he lost the Kubel, causing him some issues. But here comes the Puma. No bazooka on the Lieutenant. Puma getting in here, doing some damage. He pops the armor piercing a debuff on the Puma. Puma popping smoke. Stuart popping the shell shock. Trying to go attack round for attack round. Puma missing. And shell shock worn off now. Puma coming back out of the smoke, going chasing for the Stuart. And he gets the kill. Now gonna hang around, linger, maybe go for the USE-51 that steps on it to get out of there, but use maybe a little bit greedy. Not going for the bazooka on the Lieutenant, making a big difference in that engagement. And good control there from Orangepest. Nice idea, popping the smoke, staying in the smoke until the shell shock wore off, and use maybe making a slight mistake with his own attack round play on the Stuart, not getting any shell shock rounds to connect. GG. The marked vehicle from the USE-51, I don't think it gives any bonus damage. I think it's just negative armor. I could be wrong about that though. And Yu's going to go for a rebuild on the Stuart. Knows that if he just lets this Puma run free, he's going to be in some trouble. Did have the option though of side-teching, going for the captain, going for an AT gun. An extra squad could cause Orangepest some issues. But he's going for a rebuild on the Stuart, which is interesting. Got the bazookas on the rear echelon as well. But yeah, good win there for Orangepest, taking down that first Stuart. Now he's in a decent position. And now he's called in his Opel Blitz. Going to use that as medics, as an ambulance. This is where maybe his MP40s fall short here. Which is why, kind of similar with PPSH conscripts, I'm generally not a huge fan of upgrading every single squad with the short range upgrade. Maybe just like 2 in this case, instead of the full 3. And now he's gone for an extra Fox in the meantime. Otherwise you just end up in a sticky situation. With conscripts sometimes it can be good if you've got like a sniper, but obviously that's not the case with OKW. No snipers available. Okay, Stuart on one side, machine gun covering the center, but oh, Stuart pulled back before got any damage in there. Slight mistake. Squad of cavalry often coming in for use. No Thompsons on them yet though, so actually going to lose his head-to-head. His TG's upgraded on the fresh squad of Folks for Orangepest. Cal in the building though, softening up them. This is a retreat ultimately. And did end up getting the cutoff decaptured there. Despite of the machine gun didn't get the pin in time to prevent that. Stuart coming in for a little bit of damage. But yeah, that's another benefit of these. They've got the smoke grenade as well as the high explosive grenade. instead of the incendiary grenade. Squad coming around the corner here. Pulled out of the building. Did the 50 and 50 repositioning now. Puma posturing. He's got the bazookas, he's got the 50 cal there. Puma has to be careful. Machine gun trying to suppress the lieutenant, going for the capture on the far side. And the bazooka's going chasing after the Puma. Quite a lot of damage on them. It does drop one of the bazookas, but nothing to pick it up. Apart from the Stern Pioneers who are in the center. Orangepest coming in, high explosive grenades. 50 has to retreat after that. Wow, even retreating in the center, interesting. Light AT mine down from USE as well. Not something you often expect from USE forces, but can make a big difference in those early game engagements, especially with the Puma. So mobile, relatively low health. Peering up and going for a look, so Orangepest doubling down, trying to extend his pressure at this phase of the game. And USE has invested a lot into infantry himself. He's trying to apply the pressure at the moment as well. And these double 50 cals can be a nuisance to deal with. Does have access to the smoke, of course. Which is maybe one of the reasons why he wanted to go for all these squads.
Tank ready for action.
Here we go, charging in, grenade in, dodge, around the corner. 50 looking for some suppression, gets it.
Krauts have cut our supply line. Frontline units are being
But I haven't seen the WC-51 be like super relevant through the last few minutes from USE. Just giving Orangepest a little bit of breathing room. Rifleman's coming from the other side, but still don't have the upgrade. Just relying on the grease guns at the moment. Just managed to get neutralized, going for the cap on the far fuel as well. Looks coming forwards, but takes some damage from this. Stewart has to pull back. Puma coming across, but the bazookas are there in support. Oh, I said bazookas, but it looks like he picked up a bar. I wonder if that was an accident. Instead of re-equipping another bazooka, so actually only has one bazooka on that squad now. If that was a misclick.
A capture point is under attack.
Going forwards. Just be careful with the cav rifles there though. Can go for the sticky satchel.
Our supply line just got cut off.
And now Orangepest upgrading the repair pioneers.
Puma ready.
Ooh, popping aim shot there briefly, was it? Looked like I saw that. Here we go, WC-51 coming across the other side. And this is what it should be doing. Continue to apply pressure away from the OKW light vehicles. Use
We're losing a capture point.
oh, Puma finds the WC. He just left it here for quite a long time. Puma chasing in and misses the killing blow.
Our supply line's cut. Germans are making a push.
Cav rifles looking for the sticky, but gets suppressed, unable to. Puma gets out of it. Close call for both players.
Is overrunning one of our capture points.
Kitten now coming in for Orangepest. And another 50 cal for USE. So hard to outposition 3 50 cals, and it's an interesting idea. Going for grenades as well as
A capture point is being overrun.
tech to the major. Stewart takes engine damage here, but Puma once again running over a light AT mine. And having to pull back. Unable to chase him for the kill on this. Especially with the bazookas there in support. But USE, look at how big his army is right now. Orangepest really needs this looks to do some big damage over the next few minutes. He's driving right in here, going to take a snare. Stewart repairing up. Looks like the vehicle crew accidentally is not repairing though. He's got the 50 there for a bit of extra damage too. That's really the strength of the 50 cal, you know. So quick to set up, so good against infantry, and so good against these light vehicles too. Thanks to its high penetration and the AP ammo. It's just such a beast. Jumped into this building here. Puma doing some maneuvers. Trying to out-position it. Orangepest trying to set up his Shreya, covering these 2 points at the moment, trying to defend it. Squad charging in. Puma coming around the corner though, going for the WC-51, applying pressure to his machine gun. Speaking of machine guns, charging head on into this one. Looks softening up the 50, hasn't activated the AP ammo, but the Stuart's there. And the Puma quite deep at the moment, maybe chasing after the WC-51, has to worry about these bazookas in the retreat. And gonna lose his Raketin here potentially. Bazooka misses. And Raketin survives. Does force away the machine gun. Orangepest getting some territory on the far side. Oh, dropping some artillery. Is that from Major? Is that from WC-51? Looks like Major artillery. Puma doing some good attack rounds there through the trees. 50 cal in the building though, looking quite well against the looks. And 50 cal over here boxing out these squads. Orangepest way behind on VPs, as you hear from the announcer, in spite of taking down that first Stuart. Just shows the strength of the mass 50 cals, locking out Orangepest from the map at the moment. Unable to get the neutralize on the cutoff, so Orangepest with double fuel for a period here. Has got his tech upgraded, but U's about to hit his medium tank timing. In spite of losing his first Stuart, and I suppose that's kind of evened out by Orangepest going for the Panzer II. He's still going to hit that timing so much earlier, and he, he did go for weapon upgrades, went for grenades as well, I believe, on his rifleman. So in spite of all those upgrades, U's still hitting his tank timing so much earlier than Orangepest. I suppose Orangepest did also tech, or I suppose build the Opal Blitz. It's 20 fuel, but yeah, he's doing well. I think it's come down to the looks, just hasn't performed so far. Really got any damage done with that. Puma chasing after the Stuart again. Has to be careful with the shell shock, could turn things around. Empire is forced away, grenade in, but dodge with the rifles. Doesn't take much damage from it. We're going for some attack rounds, but missing, and the 50 in the center. Forcing away the troops again. Oh, gets a wipe on this 50. Has a Raketin there, could go for the kill on it too. Could be really nice. Puma chasing in, finds the WC-51. Decides to disengage. Doesn't want to risk maybe a squad coming in for the snare and take out the Puma. What's the WC-51 doing here? Oh, big blunder there from USE. Only has one bazooka on this, remember, so not super scary for the looks, and he's going in for a push on it anyway. Pushes him into the flak base, which chips in for some big damage. Really retreat. Maybe could have chased him for the wipe there, but he's playing it safe. And yeah, Raketin does end up going for the kill on that decrewed machine gun. Machine gun setting up on the MG34, but that just allows the looks to come in and rip through it. And USE, instead of going for the Sherman, tries to save all the way out for the Jackson here. And maybe that, window, the extra minute or so, has allowed Orangepest to do quite a lot of damage. These riflemen do have a bazooka themselves. Maybe picked up that one that got dropped earlier. So he has to be careful with that looks. Just way out the back. Another light AT mine. Puma connecting with the Stuart. Stuart on the run. Should be able to outrun Puma thanks to the temporary engine critical there. Doesn't really want to fight against the Puma until he gets that Jackson out. Understandable. Grenades. Good dodge from Orangepest, but still going to lose that engagement. And the lieutenant can be a real beast when it comes to anti-infantry. So if you can get away with not upgrading him with the bazooka, it can work out for you quite well in the late game, because he does have the Thompson combined with the 2 bars if you upgrade him with that. It's a powerful force. In close range especially. Just hanging on here. But he's got to contend with the Jackson. Jackson doesn't have a super easy run against the vetted up Puma with the aim shot. Very powerful. But doesn't have access to the heat shells. I think the Vet 3... Yeah, Vet 3... Oh, he's just about there for the increased damage. Okay, so that will make a big difference for the Puma. That's when damage goes from 120 to 160 per hit. Which is very impactful against the Jackson. That's just 4 shots then. I'll just be stalling out here. Not connected to that fuel at the moment. And a mortar from USE, so he seems to be quite attached to these mortars. Interesting. Just charging forwards, popping the smokes, getting the flanks cooking. Nice to see. So far the Jackson hasn't seen almost any action. I mean, he's standing right here, could go for some attack rounds. Seems like USE is a little bit overwhelmed at the moment. Not going for those extra, like, small percentage plays, the attack rounds, a few small areas in his control. Oh, speaking of issues, okay, gets out of there. Now going for the kill on the sandbag so he can go for the capture on that territory a little bit earlier. And Orangepest managing to get out his Panzer IV at a decent timing here. He's done well over the last 4 minutes or so. Grenade in, dodge. Remember, those are high explosives, so you can jump right back into the building if you want. Which is what he's going to do. Another grenade in. This time no dodge. Takes a lot of damage from it. Nice to get out. Slight blunder there, crushing that heavy cover, and Orangepest fighting back strongly onto the map. Another 50 for USE. Placing his losses and going to go for the Scott now. So looks like he's one of those players who wants to sit back, let the Scott do the heavy lifting. Jackson keep things safe. Interesting. Major ID dropped on the machine gun. It's Vet up nicely as well. Vet 4 on there already. Puma coming in. Pops the smoke before any return fire comes through as well. Orangepest holding on to the VPs down to 125, but it's not desperation stations yet. Machine gun switching positions here, trying to hold on to that VP. A squad coming for the VP on this side for you. He's going to run into the machine gun. So he's going to set up behind heavy cover and hope that he wins. Looks like Orangepest not going to take the gamble on suppression and go for the early retreat. Let's send the looks over that side instead. Do have the Jackson somewhat nearby though. But not in an aggressive position where it could get some hits on straight away. I'm going to react to that now. And here comes the Panzer IV, so it's going to be a bit of push-pull. For the Jackson has a lot of ground to cover against the triple vehicles for Orangepest. Looks like he's maybe hiding behind that gravestone there. Is that a gravestone? Whatever that is. In the cemetery. He's got some bazookas on the Major. That's how much he wants the anti-tank right now. So the 50 cal holding on this side against Orangepest's advances. Jackson missing the shot there. Now Orangepest disengaging. Going back into the center. They're trying to down to 120 now. We're going for the capture in the center. There we are, Scott getting things going. Do have the Raketen coming across to the center now for Orangepest. machine gun, but that's going to be easy pickings for the Scott at this range. Stuart. Getting setting up. The looks coming into the center as well. Good connection from the Scott. We've seen a lot of players go for the 76mm Sherman with this commander, but yeah, he's going for the Jackson instead. Kind of interesting. Series 6mm with a bit more penetration than the regular Sherman. Helps it perform a little bit better against the OKW Panzer IV. Both Panzer IVs really. Just very aware of the VP situation, going for the capture here. Trying to hold on. Could be a big shot from the Scott, but only minor damage. Oh, Puma coming in. Oh, is that a snare? It is. That could be the end of the Stuart. Puma needs to land one more shot here. But he did not chase him for the kill. A couple squads coming in for the flank on these bazookas. Panzer IV out the back, not assisting at the moment. So it's coming in, looking for the flank. Smoke. Going for the capture on the VP. Oh, Raketen actually connecting with the Scott there, forcing that away. That's a lot of repairs required now. And Orangepest continuing to advance here. Trying to push his advantage, but double 50 cals. Locking him out. 50 cal on this side though, having to go against the Panzer IV. No machine gun upgrade on that yet. Doesn't have the munition spare for that. Hardy on the MG in the center, and Hughes going for the regular HE Sherman here. Late retreat in the center for Orangepest could get punished, and does. Major RD takes down the MG. He's got so many MGs at the moment. Okay. He doesn't need it, and it looks like he was intending to kill it too. So just a regular Sherman. Orangepest going for a walking Stuka. That's a big gamble. Generally, you know, it takes maybe like 4 shots or so before the walking Stuka kind of pays for itself and makes its purchase worthwhile. And in the meantime, Orangepest, you know, low on VPs could lose the game in the time the walking Stuka takes to pay itself off here. So it's a gamble, big gamble, and could also get overwhelmed by the armor of Hughes. Going for walking Stuka here. Overwhelmed on this flank. Puma and Looks coming in though. Stuart in some trouble. Hughes not popping the shell shock, still not popping it. And he loses the Stuart just because he didn't pop the shell shock. Big blunder there from Hughes. Now Orangepest going hunting. Finds the Scott. Scott pops the smoke. Currently having its sight blocked by the wreck. Squad's coming across, Hughes scrambling, in trouble. Jackson coming across, but not firing at the... Okay, there he goes, gets it. Jackson chasing in. Puma still has the aim shot ready. That could be a big difference maker, but the Raketen retreated here. Oh boy. And there we go. Puma goes down to the Jackson. Panzer IV coming across to assist. Was that retreat on the Raketen necessary? I didn't see what position it was in. But he really could have done with the help against these 2 tanks. Maybe with the aim shot he could have got some action going, but yeah. Oh boy, Hughes taking some big losses there. Scott and Stuart. Basically 100% because he didn't pop the shell shock. Pop the shell shock, Puma would have had to give up on that aggression. But at least he got the Puma, and that's, you know, one less thing for the Jackson to worry about now. That means the Jackson's free to go chasing after the Panzer IV at all times. Walking Stuka barrage, use dodges. Dodges out to the side as well. And squad stays alive. Orangepest going for the capture, but still covered by this 50. Might be able to get them neutralized, especially with the smoke grenade. Looks like he's disengaging though. Jackson on the far side trying to clear the sandbags. And now Orangepest jumping in there with the smoke. Looking for the triple cap back the other way on use. Still at 290, Orangepest down to 89. He's got plenty of breathing room. Sherman coming in. Jackson behind it. Couple squads nearby with the bazookas too. Panzer IV coming across. Jackson doesn't have sight at the moment because of the trees. Slight mistake. Orangepest machine gun forced away though, and U's going for the capture behind that. Charging forwards. It's another smoke grenade in, and 50 cal has to get out of there. Wow. Speaking of 50 cals, that was suppressing these stern fires. They're a little bit low. Attack rounds from both players. Jackson missing another Scot for use, so he's not giving up on the Scots. I feel like this is a good time though. Would have been a good time to just go for another tank. He's up against basically one Rakit and one Panzer IV. He could completely overwhelm Orangepest, having invested in the walking Stuka. But he's not. He's going for the Scot. He's trying to play for the long game instead of pushing for the win right now. HE, so can't really fire back at this Panzer IV. Squad coming around on the flank. And the MG getting quite low here, quite fast. There's double bar rifleman ripping through the health. Jackson going forwards, but does take a shot, and the kitten is there as well. Walking Stuka popping off a shot, maybe going after this 50 in the center. No, going after the rifleman. Decent connection. 4 kills now after the 2 barrages. And now Orangepest losing control of all 3 VPs. Triple cap running. He's in trouble. He's getting his Panzer IV repaired, but he's got a lot of work to do to get back onto the map.
75 points remaining. Tactical adjustments need to be made.
Here comes the Scot. Ranger tank source nearby, so it's free to stay at close range like this and soften things up. Orangepest, what's he doing with his walking Stuka? Oh boy, it must be a wrong control group, I would guess. Suiciding it forwards here. 50 cal could just set up and kill this immediately. What is he doing here? Pignati on the 50 gets the D crew. Jackson and Sherman coming across, looking for the walking Stuka. SMG squad's taking down another machine gun. Jackson firing off shots. Walking Stuka, Orangepest finally notices it and it goes down. Switching over to AP ammo now. Panzer IV, really good attack rounds. You can see the difference between attack rounds action and Orangepest and use. Orangepest much stronger with that. And manages to get, what, 2 decrews and even a kill on that one, thanks to the Stuka off map. Got some pretty big scalps. $39 VPs left for Orangepest, however. It's dicey. Trying to get the snare off here. Oh, Lieutenant does have a bazooka. Didn't quite get in range for the snare though with that rifleman. And Orangepest going for the Panther. He didn't need to lose the walking Stuka, right, to free up PopCap. Walking Stuka's 12? 12? Yeah, I mean he could have had like basically his current composition fully reinforced. I suppose he did have 1 machine gun before that last engagement extra. Not sure. I have to imagine that he just had it on the on a control group and accidentally sent it forwards when he maybe meant to send a tank forwards or something. But yeah, the MP40's surprising me this game, you know, quite good. Maybe he's played against USE quite a few times and knows that he's like a hard out 50 cal spammer. The smoke grenades working well for Orangepest this game. Panther going in for a bit of a dive here. Going after the Scott. Has a Ford there as well. Jackson missing a shot and not chasing down. We've got the Sherman coming across. Switching rounds. But no squads nearby for snares. No squads nearby with the bazookas. And Jackson still super late chasing down. It looks like USE maybe running out of stamina or something. Because he is starting to play quite poorly. Jackson in trouble. Pulling back. Sherman in some trouble. Squad's coming in from the sides. He just let it die there. Didn't even try to smoke to get out. And he loses the Jackson too. Looks on the far side. Did they get a wipe? Might have done. Lifeman trying to close the distance, looking for the snare. Now going to connect with the Panther, but the damage has already been done. Orangepest getting out of there safely. Another Jackson coming in for USE. He's going to go for the recrew on the machine gun. Steal away from Orangepest. Orangepest chasing a little bit too deep there by accident. And a lot of repairs required for Orangepest, but he's on top of the VPs, so he's not draining out. That's the most important thing. He's got a good size army now. So he's in a nice position overall. Looks like he did lose a Volksgrenadier at some stage. One of his MP40 squads. So he's have a bit of room in his army now to maybe build something else. He's got plenty of fuel. Maybe he's going to look for another tank. Will be a little bit hard to repair everything though. Just one Stern Pioneer and the mechanized truck. If he does go for another tank, and he is. He's going to go for the Hetzer. Nice. Hetzer is like really good against machine guns. Jackson going forwards. Looks not on full health. Could go down to 2 shots from the Jackson. They use does not go for the chase down. Panther on the far flank forcing retreat. Doesn't have a machine gun upgrade on it yet though, so not going to do too much damage. Looks like the Panther may be considering going for a base attack onto the ambulance. Panzer IV blitzing forwards.
Unit ready.
Here it comes. Panzer IV coming in. USE popping the ambulance back out. Trying to get out of there, but too late. I saw it coming. You should have seen it coming. A couple bazookas coming in on the rear. Jackson coming around the wrong way. If he just came in from this angle, we could have got 2 shots here. Potentially even got the kill. See, one more bazooka shot to connect. And Orangepest giving USE the runaround right now. Are coming forwards, and hits are also quite good against handheld anti-tank, the bazookas. Forces a retreat there. Machine gun trying to hold on to the VPs once again for USE, but the smoke grenades and HE grenades working out well. Another smoke. He knew that the squad, the machine gun was spread out, so HE wouldn't have got the wipe there. Jackson connecting. Forcing back the Panther. Looks out the back very, very low. And once again, a lot of repairs required now for Orangepest. Going for a second Stern Pioneer. I think that's a good choice. Just has enough popcat space to squeeze one of those in. Nice close Stern Pies. Instantly upgrades them with the sweeper to get the bonus repair speed.
Standing by.
Assembled and ready. Equipment upgrade. Received.
And Orangepest holding on to the VPs. He's about to tick under 100. And he's the one under pressure. You see Orangepest at 100 to users 64.
100 points.
Huge differential in army at the moment. Who's also with only one squad for the snare. Kind of causing him some issues at the moment against Orangepest's aggressive armor play. Not having more snares available. And it is part of the mechanized build, you know, you only build 2 riflemen. So if you do lose one of them, snares can be harder to come by in the late game. Orangepest very aware of the VP situation. Maintaining control nicely. Big push through the center for USE. Jackson's there as well. They keep him coming forwards. Jackson pushing into the middle now against Panzer IV. Bazooka's advancing, but the MP40 is holding strong there. Rakitten attack rounding nicely through the shrubs as well. In fact, that might even be crushed by the Panther rather. So it might even have sight through there. Kind of hard to tell. Okay, Panther getting aggressive. Jackson did take 1 shot worth of damage, and Panther pulling the trigger, popping the blitz, going in for the kill on it. This is not weird. Not having snares can really hurt you. Got a lot of bazookas here. Jackson trying to get away. Panther getting kind of lucky, landing all his shots on the move. And the Jackson goes down. Panther going to go for the fresh ambo. And that's probably going to seal it. He just has nothing left. Got a wipe over here to a grenade though. That's one of the folks. And Bazooka's actually connecting with the hits. The hits are trying to get out. Bazookas didn't chase down though while they were reloading. Oh! Bazooka's down. USE trying to go for the VPs, but just can't do it and throws in the towel. Well, very well played by Orangepest, you know. Took down that first Stuart, got himself back in the game after a tough start against OC-51. That thing's just such a powerhouse in the early game. But, you know, you stabilized well. The second Stuart didn't really do too much, I have to say. And then you made a pretty big blunder here, losing it by not popping the shell shock against the Puma. And that's when Orangepest kind of started to turn things around. And then there were just a few engagements with USE, like this Jackson just constantly being in the wrong position again and again. A few errors, like not making use of attack ground, not bringing things into support properly. Orangepest just overwhelming GG, and he will advance into the top 16.